Hello, everybody. This is Moshe Rothschild from the Global Israel Alliance, bringing you the weekly summary of the news from Israel for week ending August 21st, 2020. Hope you all had a great week. So very, very exciting, the news we reported last week about the agreement between Israel and the United Arab Emirates, the peace deal that is impending. And this week, there were the first signs of the thawing Israel-United Arab Emirate relationship as the telephone lines were connected. Previously, it was impossible to call from Israel to the UAE or vice versa. This week, the foreign minister of the United Arab Emirates made the first ever direct phone call to Israel, and he called his counterpart, our foreign minister, Gabi Ashkenazi. In connected news, it's been reported here in Israel that Israel is very close to agreeing with Sudan to open normalization, have a peace treaty with the country of Sudan, which would be also an incredible development. They're talking also about Morocco, possibly Saudi Arabia, and some other countries, which is really just an extraordinary development here in the Middle East. Until now, it has been thought or has been stated by the Arab League that peace and normalization is dependent upon Israel solving the issue with the Palestinians here. But now it seems to be that has become more of a back burner issue, and more and more Arab nations seem to be going forward with normalization and peace talks with Israel, despite the fact that there's been no final status agreements with the Palestinians. Now, they're looking at having direct flights to the UAE from Israel with, we need to get permission to fly over Saudi Arabia, which looks like that will happen soon. I have to tell you, this isn't news, but I went to the Airbnb site to check out the Airbnb options in Abu Dhabi, the United Arab Emirates, and they have some amazing deals. Hopefully we'll take our family there one day on vacation. The Palestinian Authority president, Mahmoud Abbas, is not at all happy with this deal, and he referred to the peace accord between Israel and the UAE as quote-unquote nonsense, and he accused the UAE of turning its back on the Palestinians who are quote-unquote living under Israeli occupation. As part of the agreement, it was reported this week that the U.S. will sell F-35, an advanced fighter jet, to the UAE. Prime Minister of Israel, Netanyahu, insists that Israel has not agreed to that, and that was not part of the deal. Terrorists in Gaza have continuously fired rockets into Israel this week, and Israel attacked several sites belonging to Hamas 6 nights in a row. There have been launches of incendiary balloons into Israel from Gaza this week. There were over 30 fires this week that broke out in Israel because of that. Now, there was a kindergarten in Sderot, which is near the border of Gaza, that was consumed by fire when one of the balloons landed nearby. Thank God it was in the evening, and no children were in the kindergarten, and nobody was hurt by the fire. Well, there was only damage to property. This week, the Israeli Air Force fighter jets, for the first time, participated in joint exercises on German soil with the German Air Force and some other air forces of other countries. The German Air Force announced that the Israeli jets would fly over Munich to commemorate the Israeli athletes who were murdered in the 1972 Olympic Games in Munich. Very exciting news that Israel has reported they have a 1 second, that's right, 1 second corona gargle test. Basically, it's this a liquid that you gargle in your mouth, and it literally takes a second, and they tested it on 400 people with 95% accuracy, which is really incredible. And we hope that this becomes the gold standard in testing. It'll help open up the airports and so on and so forth. This week as well, or I should say today, we celebrated the first day of the month of Elul, the Hebrew month of Elul, and we are 1 month before the Jewish holiday of Rosh Hashanah, the Jewish New Year, and we began blowing the shofar every single day as a lead up to the Jewish holiday of Rosh Hashanah, the New Year. We will blow the shofar every single day. So that is the news from Israel, the summary of the news for week ending August 21st, wishing you all wonderful Shabbat, a great weekend, and hopefully we'll see you here in Israel soon with the borders opening up and the skies opening up, please God, as soon as possible. Shabbat Shalom.